Hey guys, with the Southern Powerpass, the Super Mokoko Express event, and the Path of the Soul Eater coming out this next patch to give us all a ton of honing materials and resources to upgrade a new character, I'm sure you guys are wondering, what class should I make next? Well, I'm here today to help you guys figure that out and suggest a couple classes that I think are really great in the current and upcoming meta. Now, these aren't going to be all the strongest classes or the easiest to play classes, but it's a bunch of classes that I think are really good for the current state of the game that I think anybody should make going forward. And of course, it is going to be taking into account the future updates that are coming to the West that are already in Korea with the balance changes. So stick around and hopefully this video will help you out. So the first class on this list is going to be the Pistolier Deadeye. While it's not the strongest class on the list, it's definitely a class that I would say is good to play for players at all levels. Being a Hitmaster class, the Pistolier Deadeye is an extremely flexible class that can do maximum damage from anywhere, making it very easy for beginners to learn how to play the game. But what I like about this class is that while it performs well even when you're not too familiar with the class engraving has a built-in mechanic that makes it so whenever you spacebar, you get a damage and attack speed buff. On top of this, it is one of the two classes that gets 2 dashes, so you are a very mobile and flashy character. I'd really recommend this class to anybody who is looking for a class that is easy to pick up, but very solid and flashy when mastered. The second class that I would recommend is the Pinnacle Glaiver. This was one of the classes that got reworked recently and as a result has become a very strong and sought out class in every raid. The Glaiver is an Entropy Ambush Master class, so that means that you have to attack monsters from the back for maximum damage. So it isn't the easiest class to play, but it is a class that does a ton of damage. On top of doing very high damage, it is also the only class that has a crit damage synergy skill, making it one of the most sought out classes in every raid. In addition to all this, this class brings a ton of utility with high stagger, high destruction, 2 counters, and a parry. So, in my opinion, Glaiver is really the most well-rounded class in the game right now, and I recommend anybody to pick it up. It is getting a slight nerf in the upcoming balance patch, but because Glaiver was so overtuned in its initial rework, these nerfs really don't do much to its overall standing. Now, the Artist class is the support class that I would recommend for anybody to make. While it's been traditionally considered as the worst support class in the game compared to its counterparts, the Bard and the Paladin, the upcoming balance patch changes that by adding a shield to its portal skill and massively increasing the AoE of Sunwell, one of their attack buffs. These changes give Artists a lot more flexibility with the skills it can use, in addition to making it the most consistent attack buffer in the game. On top of all of this, I personally think it's the most fun support to play with the prettiest looking skills. You also get to cosplay as a 300-year-old lolly, which might be a bonus to you. So definitely, if you're looking to add a support to your roster, I'd say you should give the Artist a try. Going back to the DPS classes, the next class that I would recommend is Deathblade. This class has always been one of the strongest classes in the game, and at one point even being considered the #1 DPS. Since then, it's had its fair share of nerfs, but even with those nerfs, it's still currently considered one of the best damage dealers in the game. But don't worry, as the next balance patch will bring it back to its rightful spot as #1 damage dealer, as the class received a ton of love in the most recent update in Korea. The Deathblade is another Entropy Ambush Master class, so it requires you to attack enemies from the back for maximum damage. But the class has a ton of mobility, so getting to the back is not much of a problem. It is also one of the few classes that can jump above or through the boss, so that you can get to the back instantly. In addition to all of this, the Deathblade is highly sought out in raids, not only because of its high damage, but because it is one of the 2 classes that provides an entropy synergy, which increases all damage done to the front and back. So if you're looking for a mobile assassin class that'll soon be the #1 damage dealer once again, I'd recommend playing the Deathblade. Both Surge and Remaining Energy are going to be extremely strong in the upcoming patch, so try out both and see which one you like. Now, the last class on this list is definitely a bit of a unique class that I don't think everybody would quite recommend. It isn't quite the strongest class at the moment, but will soon be one of the stronger classes after the balance patch hits. I have a bit of a soft spot for this class because it is my main, but the last class that I would recommend is the Striker. This class, unlike other classes, does require quite a bit of investment to be good. You need most of the wealth runes in the game, and you need high specialization to make the class feel smooth, but in my opinion, Striker is one of the coolest and flashiest classes in the game. While it isn't the hardest class to play, it is also not the easiest because it is another Entropy Ambushmaster class. But with the new update, the damage of this class goes way up, and it will be one of the few classes that will be able to apply both a crit synergy and an attack speed buff to the entire party. This change alone makes Striker extremely valuable in every raid. So I'd recommend this class to anybody who's looking for something a little bit different, something a little bit more difficult to play, but also something that not many other people play. And when mastered, it becomes one of the strongest and flashiest classes in the game. So that's it. Those are the 5 classes that I would recommend for anybody to make for this next patch. And while I only mentioned 5, it doesn't mean that there are only 5 good classes in the game right now. Those are the 5 classes that I think are the best in the meta, but also will cater to a wide range of players. So if you have a class that you want to play outside of those 5, feel free to play it. There are a ton of really great classes in Lost Ark. Now, if you have one outside of those 5 and you want to share it down below in the comment section, feel free to do so. That'd be great. But yes, thank you all for making it to the end of this video and watching the entire thing. Hopefully it helped you out and helped you decide what class to make next. If so, please hit that like button, hit that sub button, ring the bell, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out.